This is my little cycling exploit. I'll put this on my other channel. I do have another channel called Durianriders Cycling Tips, aka CTFU Cycling. I'll put a link down below. If you haven't subscribed to that channel, if you don't know where it is, I'll put a link down below. That's my cycling only channel. Some people go, I don't want to hear about any more handbag basics or redheads or whatever. It's fair enough. But I've got 10 channels, and my main cycling channel is down below in the link. This is a bit of footage. This is a video I've never uploaded to YouTube before with this audio. I did upload this footage today on my cycling channel though with a different audio backdrop. This is Mount Baldy from a couple of weeks ago, taking my giant TCR up the top and riding a bit, walking a bit, hiking a bike. And someone said that Strava featured this on their Facebook page recently, and it was quite entertaining reading some of the comments in that one. So go check out the Strava page. Facebook page, the cycling one with the Durianriders, Mount Baldy. Haters gonna hate, and fans gonna fan. Whatever you do in society, I think if you're not polarizing your audience, then you're not really that effective, in my opinion. You're being a bit too mainstream. You want to really engage people that hate you with a passion, or fucking love you with a passion, because passion is what changes the planet, and passion is what separates the flock. Anyway, this is a fantastic ride here. Beautiful. I was off my chops here today. Not today, sorry. Off my chops on this ride. Not from any gear, but just from being surreal. Just going, what the fuck am I doing? I'm normally riding my bike up Norton Summit, or up and down the bike lanes, and now I'm Mount Baldy. Just awesomeness, man. Just epic shit up there, man. Go up mountains, man. Wherever you live, go and hunt the mountains down. If you don't live in a mountainous area, I'd recommend moving to where the mountains are. I like living on the flat at the base of the mountains. That's where you'll find me habitating, is at the base of mountains, going up to the mountains and come back down. And this is approaching the top of Mount Baldio. San Antonio is the correct name for it, but the local people call it Mount Baldy. But Mount San Antonio, Southern California, near Los Angeles. I rode that day from Santa Monica to the top, and there's a couple of characters at the top, and I took some photos of them and took some photos of me. It was hilarious. But that's my cycling channel, Durianriders Cycling Tips, and I offer all my tips there. If you haven't got a copy of my cycling ebook, I would highly recommend get a copy, man. People write me all the time, what about this out? What about that? Watch my channel, watch my cycling channel, and get a copy of my ebook. It is hands motherfucking down the best cycling book ever written. Do you know why I can say that? Because I've read pretty much every book out there, and I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, and I can write in a way that people can understand. Because I'm not a smart motherfucker. I'm not academic at all, but I can communicate with the everyday person. And that's why you'll see me coaching more people, total noobs. And noobs have got power meters. I've got fucking people who buy a bike, riding for a month, don't get a power meter. Most people with power meters are like pro-level athletes. But I can communicate to the everyday person how important a power meter is. And some companies have approached me and said, how the fuck are you selling product to people who we don't even market to? And I'm like, well, I'm just a fucking street dude, and I can talk to the everyday person. I used to be homeless. I used to be out of shape as fuck, and I got myself an incredible drug-free fitness level. And it's just because I'm persistent, and because I'm a bit of a, what's the word? I lost a few brain cells in my teen days. I'm not that smart, but I can pay attention to basic things. 2 + 2 = 4. I can do basic math. I can understand the power of the power meter. But I don't follow a training program. If you read my book, you'll see why. I like to be spontaneous and live in the moment, but also like to have some habits that I do every day. A bit of backbone training. That's what the drone is, the crow. But definitely get a copy of my cycling ebook, man. That is the book I wrote for when I sort of basically, whenever I do something, I'm thinking, how is this something that I would have enjoyed having when I first started my journey? Like this video here right now. There was nothing like this on YouTube. This is the first time anyone's come up on a bike on YouTube, on Mount Baldy. First time in YouTube history. But in a way, it's cool because then people can go, yeah, you can take your bike to the top of Mount Baldy. It's probably not a smart fucking thing to do, and it's probably a little bit dangerous, but you can do it if you're paying attention and you're carved up. It can be done. And now I know it can be done. And so I make the videos, I write the books, I do the talks, share the information that I would have liked to have heard when I first started. So I like to hang around noobs in a way that they remind me of where I was at and what is important to hear and what is important to see and is what important to do. And that's why I like to surround myself with enthusiastic noobs who have drive and who have passion and have dreams. Because it reminds me of what I was like at the start as well. And it helps me become a better communicator. The quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality of your communication. The better you can communicate with everyday people of all walks of life and demographics, the better quality life you will motherfucking have. You know, so I'm obsessed with communication. Even though I'm not an academic by any means. I just like to be able to be down to earth and relate to the chipmunks and squirrels in Mount Baldy, you know? Speak a bit of chipmunk language. Just be simple, man. Simple life's where it's at. We make things so fucking complex. Like, I've got to see a psychiatrist. I've got to do this. I've got to take this. And so, no. Just fucking take a deep breath. Go to the top of the mountain with a backpack full of bananas and Cliff Bars and have a fucking tent and just some water and just write down some goals, man. Just chill out for a weekend. Why are we making life so fucking complicated? You know, even my cycling book, it's just like, it's a lot of information, but written very simply so you can just learn the basics and not get caught up in shit that doesn't really matter. We get taught to get good at stuff that's really fucking dumb. We get taught to focus on stuff that's not really even meaningful, but it just generates a lot of money for massive corporations. You know, who needs a $4.5 million Ferrari Fenzo, whatever it's called? You know, it's just, we live in this like crazy consumer world. I mean, everyone likes a nice bit of gadgets. I'm a fan of having just enough to get the message out there, to be an effective activist. That's what I live by. But we live in this world of like insane fucking consumption of just like, fuck, it's crazy, man. Living here in Los Angeles and just seeing it all around me, and it's like, your Porsches in 2012 is too old now. You know, or your Ferrari's like, it's not a fucking Enzo. Or it's just, and people get caught up. They ruin their whole lives chasing what's not even attainable. And going insane over that. And that's what I love about cycling. It just strips you back and you're there with the mountain, you're there with the road and your mind. And if you don't control your minds, you'll just crack yourself. So get out on your bike, learn the tips, man. Learn from my mistakes. And just seek the fucking big mountains. End of the road, life's a daring adventure, or it's fucking nothing.